Hey kids, it's July 10th, Friday. It was a good day, although I felt unusually tired. Maybe it was the summer heat. Maybe it was simply the result of another full week. I didn't feel particularly motivated to do much, even though the day itself was packed with back-to-back meetings. Still, I managed to complete several important tasks, so it was productive. Our biggest unresolved challenge is the family vacation. We're supposed to leave within the next week or two, and we still haven't properly planned it. That will probably cost us more than it should, but we'll figure it out. This evening, we also went to the older one of your year-end school party. It was lovely. We saw friends, ate burgers, had a few drinks, and spent time together. Now we're back home, and you're both upstairs having your baths. Days like this remind me how quickly time is passing. You probably don't feel it yet. When you're young, a year can seem enormous. A summer can feel almost endless. But as you get older, time seems to move faster. One school year ends, another birthday arrives. A child who was crawling suddenly begins walking. And before you fully understand what is happening, another part of life has already become a memory. That is what I want to talk about today. Let me begin with a question. If you could go back in time, what would you change? Most people can answer that surprisingly quickly. Some would say, I would study harder. I would take better care of my health. I would save more money. I would take more chances. Others would wish they had spent more time with their parents or with someone they loved who is no longer here. Some regret relationships they failed to nurture, opportunities they didn't take, words they never said, apologies they postponed, dreams they abandoned because they were afraid. Most people don't want to return to the past simply because they miss it. They want to return because they regret how they used it. But today, I want to offer you a different way of thinking. I want you to do a small exercise with me. Actually do it if you are somewhere safe. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. And imagine that 10 years have passed. You are 10 years older than you are today. Try to picture your life. Where do you live? What does an ordinary day look like? Who is around you? What kind of person have you become? Perhaps many things are wonderful. But now imagine that a few important parts of your life didn't turn out the way you hoped. Maybe you stopped taking care of your body. You kept saying that you would exercise later, sleep better later, and eat more carefully later. But later kept moving. Maybe you gradually drifted away from people you deeply loved. Not because of one dramatic argument, but because you were always too busy to call, visit, listen, or repair what needed repairing. Maybe your finances became difficult because you kept postponing learning, saving, or planning. Maybe you had an idea for a business, a book, a project, or an entirely different life, but never began because you were waiting to feel ready. Maybe there was someone who deserved an apology, but pride kept telling you there would be another opportunity. Maybe you always knew the kind of person you wanted to become, but fear, comfort, and distraction kept deciding for you. Now imagine that this older version of you is given one wish. Not unlimited money, not fame, not power, not guaranteed success. Just one wish. To go back 10 years. To return to the moment when there was still time to change direction. To begin taking care of their health. To repair the relationship. To learn the skill. To save the money. To begin the project. To say the words. To become the person they knew they could have been. Imagine how badly they would want that opportunity. Now take another breath and open your eyes. Here is the beautiful part. The wish has already been granted. You are already living in that moment. You are standing inside the past that your future self may one day desperately wish they could return to. That opportunity is not gone. It is today, this moment, right now. The Stoics believe deeply that the present is the only time we truly possess. The past has already happened. You can learn from it, but you cannot live inside it again. The future has not arrived. You can prepare for it, but you cannot act inside it yet. The only place where your character can grow is here. The only moment in which you can make a decision is now. And yet, many of us waste the present by living mentally somewhere else. We look backward and say, if only I had started earlier. If only I hadn't made that mistake. If only I had chosen differently. Or we look forward and say, I'll begin when life becomes calmer. I'll do it when I have more confidence. I'll call them later. I'll take care of myself when I have more time. But your future self probably won't care nearly as much about today's imperfect attempts as they will care about today's inaction. They won't wish that you had waited until you felt completely ready. They will wish that you had begun. They will wish you had walked for 20 minutes, read a few pages, saved a small amount, made the phone call, said you were sorry, told someone you loved them, applied for the opportunity, taken the first imperfect step. Because one small action today is worth far more than a perfect plan that forever remains in tomorrow. I think about this in my own life. One day, if I am fortunate, I will be much older. That older version of me will probably not wish I had spent more time scrolling through my phone. He will not wish I had worried more about what strangers thought of me. He will not wish I had postponed another meaningful conversation because I was tired or distracted. He will not wish I had worked constantly while failing to notice my children growing up. He will wish I had used the time I still had. He will wish I had been more present with you, kinder to your mother, more patient, more courageous, more willing to complete meaningful work, more willing to rest without guilt, more willing to appreciate ordinary evenings before they became memories. That does not mean we should become obsessed with productivity. I am not telling you to turn every second into work. A good life is not measured by how many tasks you complete. Rest matters. Play matters. Friendship matters. Doing absolutely nothing sometimes matters. The goal is not to squeeze every possible achievement out of life. The goal is to use your time in a way that reflects what you truly value. Sometimes using time well means studying. Sometimes it means working. Sometimes it means exercising. Sometimes it means sitting beside someone you love and giving them your full attention. Sometimes it means closing the laptop. Sometimes it means refusing an opportunity so you can protect your family, your health, or your peace. Using time wisely does not mean always doing more. It means being more intentional about what you choose to do. So when you think about your future selves, don't only imagine achievements. Imagine your character. How do you want people to feel around you? Do you want to be trustworthy, calm, curious, strong, kind, present? Do you want to be someone who keeps promises? Someone who has the courage to act? Someone who treats their body responsibly? Someone who nurtures relationships rather than assuming they will always remain? Then ask, what would that future version of me be grateful I did today? Perhaps the answer is very small. Go for a walk, study for half an hour, put the phone away during dinner, send the message, apologize, save a little money, drink some water, get some sleep. Begin the first page. You don't need to transform your entire life today. In fact, trying to change everything at once usually guarantees that very little changes. You only need to respect today enough to take one honest step. That is how futures are built, quietly, one decision at a time, one day at a time. And remember, the exercise is not meant to frighten you. It is not supposed to make you anxious about wasting every minute. It is supposed to give you perspective. You still have time. You still have choices. You are not trapped by every mistake you made yesterday. You can adjust. You can begin again. You can become more intentional. And one day, when you finally become that older version of yourselves, I hope you won't spend your life wishing desperately that you could return to today. I hope you'll look back with gratitude. Not because you lived perfectly, you won't, none of us does. But because when you had the opportunity, you used it. You loved while the people were there. You tried while the door was open. You took care of your body while it could still carry you. You repaired what could be repaired. You built what mattered. You gave yourselves permission to live, not only prepare for life. So whenever you feel stuck, whenever you think you missed your chance, whenever regret begins pulling you backward, remember this exercise. Imagine your future self standing in front of you and saying, "Please don't waste what I no longer have." And remember that what they no longer have is exactly what you have now. Time. Use it with intention. Use it with courage. Use it with love. And do not ever forget, I love you both very, very much.